Yeah. Hi. I think I owe you an explanation. Because saying Minecraft is a religion? That's a pretty hefty claim. In fact, saying that anything is a religion is a pretty hefty claim with a lot of hefty ramifications. Next time you're bored, look into the history of Scientology. Anyways, if I'm going to prove that Minecraft is a religion, it would be helpful to have some kind of structure. So I am going to form a checklist of things that some thing has to have in order for us to consider it a religion. I'm sort of adapting this idea from Ann Taves's building block approach, but how do we decide what to include in this checklist? We can't just arbitrarily throw things on there. We need to consider different cultures, different standards, different epistemologies, all that kind of stuff. There are scholars who study religion as a field, so we should probably consider their expert opinions. So let's go do that. The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy is a really cool online resource for, philosophy. One of the coolest things about it is it doesn't put things behind weird paywall access barriers. Half jokes aside, we're going to look at this page called The Concept of Religion, which is a great compilation/summary of hundreds of years of religious studies. If we're going to make this religion checklist, it needs to be able to apply to all religions. I could say something like belief in a supreme deity, but that would be awfully Eurocentric of me, and it would align pretty well with what scholars of religion used to think. But then this guy called Tylor came along in the late 19th century and absolutely ended everyone's collective career. Quote, Tylor sought to identify the common denominator of all religions, what Tylor called a minimal definition of religion. He also showed clear disdain for people who were only willing to describe as religion practices that resemble their own expectations, which is something I also want to avoid doing. This guy was ahead of his time. I'm going to springboard the first item in this checklist off of a definition from this guy called William James. Quote, one might say that it consists of the belief that there is an unseen order, and our supreme good lies in harmoniously adjusting ourselves thereto. I like this, but I'm going to change it a little bit. Let's say a common set of beliefs regarding existence, morals, and/or the ideal lifestyle. This way we cast a wider net and explicitly capture religions that don't necessarily believe in the supernatural, like secular Buddhism or Satanism. If we look a little further down the page, we see a definition from another guy named Clifford Geertz. Note point number 4, through ritual and cultural performance. Along the same lines, here's Bruce Lincoln's take on this subject. Note points 2 and 3, though we're going to come back to this particular definition in a moment. We're seeing a commonality here about rituals and practices. Seems like a great thing to include in the checklist. Let's get a second item in there. The practice of rituals or activities meant to bring members closer to their beliefs. As promised just a moment ago, let's take another look at the Lincoln checklist. Number 4, quote, institutional structures to manage those people. This is the third aspect we're taking a look at, but it seems to be a very important ID component for religious scholars. Listen to this excerpt from later on in the page. Quote, some argue that to understand religion in terms of beliefs, or even in terms of any subjective states, reflects a Protestant bias, and that scholars of religion should therefore shift attention from hidden mental states to the visible institutional structures that produce them. Damn, religious studies discourse is more heated than I expected. Anyways, avoiding bias is pretty good, so that's another valid reason to add something about institutional structures to my checklist. How does this sound for item number 3? The existence of some unanimously recognized central institution that members look up to, be it an active authority or a sacred text or event. I added that last part in order to avoid bias. When I think of institutions, I think of something like the Pope, but that's probably because I grew up in a Catholic household. Not all institutional structures are active. Even just within Catholicism, I would consider the Bible to be an institutional structure. Sure, it's just scripture, but it's still something that Catholics unanimously recognize to be an authority on their religion. I like the number 3. That's a good number. And for the most part, these are all the major commonalities I can see between different scholarly definitions of religion. Okay, time to apply the religion checklist to Minecraft. Alright, time for item number 1 on the checklist. I think we can find some of these beliefs in the gameplay mechanics of Minecraft itself. As anyone who has experience with the game would know, there are 2 main gameplay modes, survival mode and creative mode. In survival mode, the player has a health bar and a hunger bar that they must maintain in order to, survive? The player's progression through the game can be aided by placing and breaking blocks, for example, to build a shelter. If you want to do anything in survival, you have to collect the materials with your own 2 hands. Or, rectangular prisms, I guess. There are a ton of common rules of conduct that almost all survival players are intimately familiar with. To name just a handful, things are dangerous at night. That's when monsters spawn. Make sure you light up your base. If you're thinking long term, you should live off the land instead of relying on wild animals or random loot chests for food. Make a farm. If you tame a dog or cat or bird or whatever newfangled animals the new updates have given us, you treat that thing like it's your real-life baby. You give it a name and everything. Unfortunately, their pathfinding tends to be a little bit silly, so make sure they don't walk into lava or get blown up or something. If you die, you'll respawn in the last bed you interacted with. Make sure you set your spawn before you leave the house, just in case. And of course, the holiest scripture of all, never dig straight down. These all pertain to survival mode. If we want to talk about creative mode, that's a whole separate story. Creative mode, as the name suggests, is designed to let the player have more freedom with their Minecraft world. It takes away all the restrictions of survival. You can't die, you have infinite building materials, and you can fly. This mode doesn't so much encourage a code of self-discipline as it does promote certain values. Players who primarily play this mode tend to value inspiration, originality, freedom, and, creativity. Whether you play survival or creative, Minecraft players are united by a common set of beliefs, mainly structured around ingenuity and foresight. This is all pretty secular stuff. If you want more metaphysical beliefs, look no further than the credits of the game. After beating the Ender Dragon, the player is shown a long, scrolling poem of sorts, and it is cryptic. I won't spend too long on this since analysis of this poem alone could be a whole other video, but I think it's still important to mention. The poem consists of dialogue between 2 seemingly omnipotent beings. They talk about the player, what the player has accomplished, where it came from, what it is. And I mean, listen to this thing.
This player dreamed of sunlight and trees, of fire and water. It dreamed it created, and it dreamed it destroyed. Does it know that we love it? That the universe is kind? Sometimes I wish to tell them, this world you take for truth is merely and I wish to tell them that they are in the... They see so little of reality in their long dream. Who are we? Once we were called the spirit of the mountain, Father Sun, Mother Moon, ancestral spirits, animal spirits, jinn, ghosts, the Green Man, then gods, demons, angels, poltergeists, aliens, extraterrestrials, leptons, quarks. The words change. We do not change.
I don't know how to describe this stuff other than religious. Anyways, check. Item number 2 on the checklist. The practice of rituals or activities meant to bring members closer to their beliefs. If we were taking a more traditional view on religion, this point wouldn't be nearly as important, but it is absolutely pivotal. Listen to this excerpt from Performance, an essay written by religion scholar Catherine Bell. Nonetheless, most theories of religion since the Enlightenment have tended to emphasize the more cognitive aspects of religion. In the last several decades, however, religious studies has become increasingly concerned to give more attention to the actual doing of religion. This religious doing is the performance that the title of her essay refers to. It is the way people perform their religion. So how do Minecraft players perform their religion? Glad you asked. Think of all the mega builds people have created in Minecraft, either on their own or as groups, or even as professional builder teams. The article you're seeing on screen right now, if you didn't catch the title, is a Wired article showcasing some ridiculously impressive Minecraft builds. Some of these images, I legitimately cannot tell that they're from Minecraft. They just look like really zoomed out photos of actual real things. Some of these took 10 years to build. Do they not evoke similar feelings to something like the Sistine Chapel, the Notre Dame Cathedral, the Greek Parthenon? Forgive me if I sound a bit facetious, but if the artists of the Renaissance had had access to Minecraft, I imagine their builds would have looked a lot like the stuff in this article. It takes a certain religious fervor to dedicate yourself to something like this for the sake of the game you love. Even if you, as a player, don't make builds on this scale, you're still channeling your devotion into every build you spend a lot of time on. Think of those smaller but still significant projects as handmade shrines or effigies. If you want something more analogous to church, look no further than the Congregation of Minecon. Oh yeah, I'm talking about Minecon. Did you really think I wasn't going to talk about Minecon? Fool. In case you don't know, Minecon was the official annual Minecraft convention. I say was because it's kind of been converted into Minecraft Live in recent years, but it was a pretty big deal every year when it happened, and I'm pretty sure they're bringing it back. Minecon is a place where Minecraft players, fans, superfans, and way too super fans gather to interact with each other and attend panels hosted by content creators within the fandom and the developers of the game. It's a great way for people who care a lot about Minecraft to strengthen their connection with the game in a similar way to how, say, gathering in a mosque is a great way for Muslims to maintain their connection with their god. And hey, not all Minecraft players go to Minecon, but not all Christians go to church either. So, Minecraft players do stuff to bring themselves closer to the thing they love, and to the belief system we talked about earlier. Sounds like we can check off item number 2. We're so close, I can practically taste it. 2 down, 1 to go. Item number 3, the existence of some unanimously recognized central institution that members look up to, be it an active authority or a sacred text or event. Remember what I said when I first added this item to the checklist. Not all institutional structures are active, like the Dalai Lama. It just has to be unanimously recognized as an authority on the religion. Sure, it could actually be a person or an institution, but it could also be something like a scripture or a legendary event of some kind. I actually have 3 possible things that I think could check off this item. I'm not sure which one is best, but I think they are all good candidates. First off, Mojang. This is the studio that developed the game and continues to support it. They dictate all official Minecraft happenings like content updates, community events, and merchandising. They are to the religion of Minecraft as the Vatican is to Roman Catholicism. Before I give my second proposal, I need to make a big, bad disclaimer. I do not personally condone any of this guy's political or social opinions. Because they are bad opinions. So yeah, my second proposal is Notch, also known as Marcus Persson, the original solo creator of the game. He's the legendary founding figure of this Minecraft religion, which would make him like Minecraft Jesus? Minecraft Buddha? Something like that. The third candidate is simple. The game itself. Yes, Minecraft is the religion, but there is so much surrounding it, the community, the merchandise, the culture, that I would be willing to consider Minecraft the game to simply be the foundational thing around which everything else orbits. And that's number 3. Check. Alright, we've ticked all of our boxes. The religion checklist is complete. Minecraft is a religion. But why does that feel so wrong? I mean, I've been playing Minecraft in the background this whole time, and at no point have I considered it to be a religious experience. I even spoke to the most dedicated Minecraft player I personally know, and... Hey, Steven. Did you know that when you play Minecraft, you're practicing a religion?
What?
Sure, there are religions that seem non-serious at first glance, like Jediism. Hell, there are even religions primarily based in satire, like the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. But we can have serious debates about the legitimacy of these religions, and even if we don't think they're legitimate, we're still referring to them in speech as religions. Referring to something like Minecraft as a religion feels completely different, and it feels wrong. Why? Are we missing something from our checklist? I feel like I pretty much incorporated the most important commonalities I saw in my research. So, I have a proposal. It's by no means a solution. I am by no means a scholar of religion, but it's an idea. I think scholarly definitions of religion are missing a certain element of self-identification. Like, people within the thing that we're studying concurring that they are practicing a religion. Sociology tends to get bogged down in secondary accounts of things, and academics lose sight of the actual people and cultures they're looking at. People who practice Jediism and Pastafarianism would define themselves as a religion, and that's what makes those communities different from Minecraft. So, to finish off this video, I'm going to add a 4th item to the checklist. A general agreement among members to self-define as a religion. And with that, we are finally done. Sorry I lied in the title, and the thumbnail, and most of the video. It was to prove a point. Sorry. Like and comment and subscribe and stuff. Okay, bye.